Sorry I'm a bit late. I completely lost track of time. Didn't realise it had reached 10 a.m. already, but here we are, 10 a.m. Monday, ready for our latest Luke devotional. I'm so late that I haven't even marked it in my Bible. Let's see, did I read it last night? No, my Bible is in Acts, the follow-on to Luke. So let's go back to Luke. We will be in Luke chapter 11 still, because like I keep saying, Luke writes long chapters. Luke chapter 11, we're going from verse 45, which picks up where John left off on Saturday. We're going all the way to verse 54. 3 viewers, that's nice. Morning, everybody. We'll just wait a little bit. I would ask you what you had planned. Morning, David. Good to see you. Well, I can't see you. You can see me. Hello, husband. I've seen you. I know what you look like. That's good. So maybe I'll make a start, shall I? Luke chapter 11, verses 45 to 54. One of the experts in the law answered him, "Teacher, when you say these things, you insult us also." Jesus replied, "And you experts in the law, woe to you, because you load people down with burdens they can hardly carry, and you yourselves will not lift one finger to help them. Woe to you, because you build tombs for the prophets, and it was your ancestors who killed them. So you testify that you approve of what your ancestors did. They killed the prophets, and you build their tombs. Because of this, God in his wisdom said, 'I will send them prophets and apostles, some of whom they will kill, and others they will persecute. Therefore this generation will be held responsible for the blood of all the prophets that has been shed since the beginning of the world, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who was killed between the altar and the sanctuary. Yes, I tell you, this generation will be held responsible for it all. Woe to you, experts in the law, because you have taken away the key to knowledge. You yourselves have not entered, and you have hindered those who were entering." When Jesus went outside, the Pharisees and the teachers of the law began to oppose him fiercely and to besiege him with questions, waiting to catch him in something he might say. Another difficult passage from Luke. I'm really glad that I read it last night in preparation, because I've been thinking about it and wondering, what does it mean for us? How can I encourage you from this passage? Because there's some stuff in there that should challenge us, and it's good to be challenged, but I also want to encourage us. So I'll start with challenging us, and I'll work up to encouraging us. So the bit that really spoke to me, the beginning bit, the first challenge that Jesus says to these teachers, these Pharisees, the lawmakers, he says to them, "You experts in the law, woe to you, because you load people down with burdens they can hardly carry, and you yourself will not lift one finger to help them." And I think this challenged me as someone who teaches in the church. I teach your children mainly, but I think it should challenge all of us, that when we are teaching people, when we are explaining what it's like to be a Christian, we need to make sure we're realistic. We need to make sure we're honest. So yeah, maybe you do 2 hours of praying a day, and that's great. But if you don't, let's not put that expectation on other people if we can't do it ourselves. Be real. Tell people what it is that you do to meet with God. Don't make yourself sound better. Don't make yourself sound more important. Just be real with people. Be honest with people. Life is hard. Sometimes I do pray for a really long time, and sometimes I really struggle. And we need to be honest about that. And the same with reading our Bible, the same with how we treat people. Yes, we all want to be the best that we can be. We all fail, and we need to be real about that with people so that they don't feel that when they fail, that they're the worst people ever. So that bit really spoke to me. There's a couple of other things that he says, woe to the teachers about. This whole thing about the prophets, I think, we may have to check with John, but I think what he's basically saying is the prophets came, they told God's people what to do, and God's people kind of listened for a little bit, and then they kind of didn't, and then they forgot, and we get to these people, the Pharisees, that said that they were God's people, and they're holding up the prophets and saying how great they were, but they're not living the life that the prophets was teaching. And so I think that's kind of what he's trying to get at is, you can't just say, wow, how great is Moses, how amazing is what he taught, if you don't live by what he taught. The same with Jesus. You can't go around saying, oh, I love Jesus, he's so good, if we don't live what Jesus taught. But then my encouragement to you, because I think it's important especially when I'm only speaking to you for a few minutes, to also encourage you, is the very beginning bit when it says, "Teacher, when you say these things, you also insult us." And I think our society today is one that thinks about me, me, me. So my encouragement is to not worry about insulting people. I don't mean go out there and be mean. I don't mean go out there and deliberately insult people. But the message that we have as Christians, it can come across as insulting to people, but it is true, and we've got to not be afraid. I want to encourage you that people were insulted by Jesus, and if we follow Jesus, then we've got to be prepared that that's what's going to happen. So don't be afraid of that. But on the flip side, don't be one of those moaners, one of those insulters. I hear it all the time, not just in non-church people, but from church people too, where you focus on me. It's all about me, and this has upset me, and you don't think about the other people who are involved in it. You don't think about where this has come from. So now I'm rambling, so I'm gonna stop. But it's a difficult passage. I'd encourage you to read it. I'd encourage you to pray about it. And to think about what God might be saying to you, because it's a kind of passage that probably says different things to all of us, because there's a few different challenges, and that one challenge spoke to me more than the others, but maybe if you read it through again, you might find that something speaks to you, and maybe you'd like to comment about that. I get notifications about these comments all day, so feel free to stick a comment down. Tell me what challenged you, or tell me what you think the bit about the prophets was. Maybe I was wrong. Let me know. I'd love to read them. That'd be really cool. Have a good week, and I'll see you again live at some point.